Orphan is a psychological horror film directed by Jean-Michel Serra, released in 2009. The film stars Vera Farmiga, Peter Skarsgård, and Isabel Fuhrman. It follows the story of a grieving couple who adopt a seemingly innocent girl, only to discover she has some sinister secrets. And the film is really, really good. You know, it's got an amazing twist, some great acting, and some good kills as well. Not too many, not too little. It's got around the perfect amount. I think it's got like 4 kills. That isn't too little. So yeah, I really do enjoy it, and I really just wanted to talk about it in the video, so let's get into it. The film opens with Kate Coleman, who's played by Vera Farmiga, experiencing a traumatic stillbirth, which leaves her and her husband John Coleman, who's played by Peter Skarsgård, devastated. They're struggling to cope with the loss, and so Kate develops an alcohol addiction and she loses her job, and she's still experiencing some horrible nightmares of the event. The couple already has 2 children, Max, who is deaf, and Daniel, who is just a little brat. And in an attempt to fill the void left by their lost child, Kate and John decide to adopt a child. They think that it will be a good idea to give the love that they have for their lost child to a child who never had parents, which is just great. If only they'd picked a kid who probably deserved it, not Esther. But yeah, they visit a local orphanage where they meet Esther, who's played by Isabel Fuhrman. She's a well-mannered and young, talented 9-year-old from Russia. I mean, she kind of sounds Russian, but I'm pretty sure she's Estonian, they say, but just that general area, you know, Eastern Europe. And Esther's charm and artistic talent immediately endears her to the couple, and they decide to adopt her. Esther quickly adapts to her new home. She charms John and the children. One of them, at least. However, Kate begins to notice some peculiar things about Esther. You know, I think there's a bit of something wrong with her. Isn't that the tagline of this movie? She always wears old-fashioned clothing and ribbons around her neck and wrists. She claims they're special to her. Her knowledge and demeanour really seem unusually mature for her age, and it causes Kate to feel really uneasy. As time passes, disturbing incidences begin to occur, and Esther's behaviour becomes increasingly manipulative and violent. She exhibits a deep understanding of adult interactions and begins to drive a wedge between Kate and John. When Daniel expresses jealousy and suspicion towards Esther and literally calls her the arsler, she retaliates in some cruel ways, and those cruel ways are literally burning down his treehouse with him inside of it. And Daniel was actually going to die at this point in the film, but then they, took that out of the original cut and just sort of left it in that he survived. They added in, a line where they said, "We got a pulse," which I think was the better option. I don't like when they kill kids in films. But yeah, Max being deaf forms a bond with Esther due to her own feelings of isolation, and Esther's use of ASL. And Esther uses this bond to manipulate Max into helping her with her schemes. Max unwittingly becomes an accomplice in some of Esther's actions, which further complicates the family dynamics. And it's especially concerning when Esther literally pushes a girl off of a slide and she gets hurt, and then Max is just like, yeah, she slipped. Kate's concerns really grow about Esther when she learns about some of her disturbing incidents at her previous schools and orphanages. She discovers that Esther has been involved in several accidents, all of which were dismissed as unfortunate mishaps. And, just to add more in there, the family which brought her back from Estonia to America died in a house fire that was deemed arson. There was foul play involved. Yeah. But yeah, Kate's suspicion deepens when Sister Abigail, who's played by CCH Pounder, from the orphanage warns her about Esther's troubled past, and Sister Abigail visits the Coleman house to discuss her concerns, but before she can reveal too much, Esther kills her in a staged car accident with Max's coerced assistance. Esther hides the evidence, and Kate attempts to convince John of Esther's malevolence and just overall creepiness, and how she's literally, manipulating him by acting like a little cute girl, woohoo. And yeah, John is probably going to be one of my top 10 least favourite horror dads because he sucks. And yeah, Esther hides literally any evidence of anything, and he just thinks Kate's judgment is clouded by her past alcoholism, which really isn't helped when he finds an empty bottle that she poured out the night before when she was literally almost driven to drink. but she was able to control herself. Kate is now desperate for answers, so she contacts the Silence Institute, which is a psychiatric facility in Estonia. Esther previously attended it, and she thought it was her past orphanage, but she then learns the shocking truth. Esther's not a kid. She's a 33-year-old woman named Lena Klammer with a rare hormone disorder that stops her growth. And, yeah, she has spent her life posing as a little girl and has a history of violent behaviour, including the murder of families who adopted her. And her mental instability becomes clear when she escalates her efforts to seduce John. This scene always really made me very uncomfortable because she's actually a kid playing this character, and I was like, oh god, please don't go where I think it's going. It went exactly where I thought it was going. And, oh god. They definitely got some sort of, like, I don't know what they're called, like, teacher to, not like, you know, someone to help teach her, like, movements and stuff to, like, you know, what to do, that kind of thing. Because this is, like, an actual, like, 10-year-old child. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't think she'd know any of that. John shoves her away and he dismisses her advances. She then murders him in a fit of rage, and Kate arrives home to find John dead and Esther attempting to kill Max with a gun. You know, little bit of Russian roulette never hurt anyone. But yeah, a violent struggle then ensues between Kate and Esther, culminating in a chase through the snowy woods surrounding their home. In the final showdown, Kate and Esther fight on a frozen pond where previously Kate had almost lost her daughter because she was drunk driving and she drove into the pond. But Esther tries to manipulate Kate by reverting to her innocent persona. But Kate knows the truth, so she kicks her in the face. This bit always got to me, because, like, this is literally a grown woman kicking a little girl in the face. But yeah, so she causes Esther to fall through the ice and drown. Or did she? No, that's a joke, of course. But Orphan 3 is happening, so you never know. But yeah, Orphan, it's a really good movie. It's a standout psychological horror film that definitely masterfully balances the suspense and drama and shock value all in one. And it works. The film's strength definitely lies in its ability to gradually build tension, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat in a really good way. And Isabel Fuhrman's performance as Esther is nothing short of great. Like, she really portrays a character, like, really well. And she seamlessly shifts between, like, a sweet, innocent, and just regular kid to, like, a really creepy old woman. And, yeah, it's really cool. Esther's definitely, like, a pretty good creepy kid character in one of these horror films. And Vera Farmiga and Peter Skarsgård deliver some strong performances as Kate and John. I still don't like John, but you know, at least his acting's good. Farmiga is definitely the better actor, though. I think she is just, quite a bit above. But I do still like Peter Skarsgård. I just hated him in this film. I don't know if that was the acting or just the fact that he just is a bit of an unlikable dude. You never know. But yeah, I don't know. I think the main issue that I have with this film is just the fact that they tried to add all these really, really, like, difficult themes into a campy horror film. Like, stillbirth, adoption, murder, a kid loving a full-grown man. I don't think those should be in a campy horror film. It does sort of work, though. So, like, you know, as much as I say it, it works in the film. And the direction is really tight and effective, though. It definitely maintains a sense of dread and unease throughout the film. And the cinematography and production design is really, really good. This house is bloody awesome. Like, it just looks sick. And, yeah, ultimately, it's just a really good film. And the script is definitely another highlight. It was written by David Dudley Johnson, who I'm pretty sure did the Doctor Strange movies. And he definitely cleverly subverts the expectations, which ultimately culminates in the twist that I did kind of expect, because I had seen like a few videos on this before, but it's still really shocking. And it definitely adds some depth to the story, and it elevates it beyond the typical just regular horror film. Overall, this is definitely not without the flaws. Like, you know, I've mentioned those, so I'm not going to go over them again. I think it's mainly just the fact that they do try and put those into a campy horror film, but ultimately, Orphan is a really good horror film. It's quite disturbing, and it's pretty cool. Like, it's got some great performances, unexpected twists, and Isabel Fuhrman's performance of Esther is really, really good. And Vera Farmiga and Peter Skarsgård, as much as I didn't like him in this film, gave solid performances as well. And ultimately, the twist is awesome, and it's got some creative kills. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.